Fatty. Feeling fatty. Chapter 12, the safe fats. Saturated fat and monounsaturated fat. So we all hear that saturated fat's really fucking bad for you. It'll clog your arteries, etc., etc. Turns out it's all bullshit. Don't believe what you hear. Saturated and monounsaturated fats are safe, even in large quantities. If you're trying to lose weight, this is the thing to drop. If you're trying to gain weight or gain muscle, this is the thing to add on. Yeah. So these are non-toxic fats, unlike polyunsaturated fats, which become toxic pretty soon in your body because they can become peroxidized. These saturated and monounsaturated are safe. They're chemically stable. Also, they're the core structural fats in your body. So basically your body's built up with these things. You are fat. You are fat. You're fucking fat. And also these fats are the primary energy source of the body. Kind of interesting, right? Most people think it's glucose, and that can be people's prime energy source. But it turns out that these saturated fats, monounsaturated fats, are a much healthier form of energy. You know, the liver makes ketones out of them, which is a much more stable source of energy. There's a chapter on ketosis, which we'll get to later. And so one thing, and they talk about muscles. They're like, all right, if you want to put on some muscle, you got to be pounding that saturated fat, that monounsaturated fat, because muscles are actually mostly fat. So, yeah, most people think it's a lot of protein, but it's actually relatively little protein. So if you want to put on, muscle, you want to eat in proportion of the composition of your lean tissues, which is mostly fat. So fat it up, and but not PUFAs. And they address heart disease here too, because most people think, saturated fat, I'm going to get clogged arteries and whatnot. But they point to a recent meta-analysis saying that, there's no significant evidence that dietary saturated fat, contributes at all to cardiovascular disease. And I think they mentioned a few other studies. So that's kind of like old science that said that. But yeah, good chapter. It's making me crave a roast duck. Really want to eat roast duck right now. A lot of monounsaturated fat, saturated fat in that. Crispy duck skin, put on a broiler for a few minutes. Straight from Chinatown. Oh man, that sounds good. I'm gonna buy some duck eggs in Chinatown today anyway. I might as well get a roast duck. That sounds really good. There's a lot of polyunsaturated fatty acids in duck though, so you gotta be careful. Alright, anyway, that's the saturated fat chapter.